Hello again, Gills fans. Welcome back to Gills in the Blood TV for another episode. First of all, apologies for no Monday review this week. Currently living in a house of germs. Have been struck down, the whole family, unfortunately, the wife, the kids and myself. So that was the reason there was no Monday review this week. So a slightly longer one today. You're going to have a look back all the way back to Luton Town last Saturday. Revisit Tuesday's game against Bristol Rovers. A catch up on what's been going on through the week, and then looking ahead to Sunday's FA Cup second round game as we travel to National League South outfit Slough Town, which Boz and Stocky will be doing the match day live for. Unfortunately, I will not be in attendance. Well, fortunately for some, they might not like to watch me talking, but the boys will be doing match day live for us. I won't be in attendance because of other commitments due to the game being moved to the Sunday. But there will be a match day live. But let's go all the way back first to last Saturday. 3-1 defeat at home to high-flying Luton Town, which made it 3 defeats on the bounce, unfortunately, in Sky Bet League One, and left us looking over our shoulder again at the relegation zone. Memories of the back-to-back home wins against Bradford City and Fleetwood Town seem to be drifting away quite quickly, unfortunately. And as we said at the time, myself and Boz, when we was doing match day live and in the ground, it just seems to be at the moment it's always a case of one step forward and then one or two back, unfortunately. We were probably good for the first 15 minutes, and the last 15 minutes aside from that, I didn't agree with Steve Lovell's comments that we deserved something out of the game. I thought we were very average. I thought that we were very predictable, easy to play against, and quickly resorted to long diagonal balls. In fact, I agreed more with the comments of Steve Lovell's managerial counterpart Nathan Jones, who came out after the game and said that he knew it'd be tough, and he knew that we'd try and hit Tom Eaves, and it was akin to a game that he'd managed in League Two last season when Luton were in there, and it was just a big physical test and not a lot of football played, and we were one-dimensional, he said, and couldn't disagree, unfortunately. Tom Eaves scored a good goal for us, but aside from that, there weren't too many positives. I did talk last week. I tweeted about Elliot List's record now. Something along the lines of he'd scored his first 3 goals in us from 55 games, and he'd scored 3 in his last 7. But only one of them was as a starter, and then he started against Luton and unfortunately didn't have the best of games. But he was given another chance Tuesday as we travelled to Bristol Rovers, who were below us in the table at kick-off. And credit to Elliot, proved he can do it from the start, playing in a slightly different role, in the number 10 role behind Josh Parker and Tom Eaves. Scored a very smart opener, and we ran out 2-1 winners, which was an excellent response. So credit all the boys, credit all the coaching staff. A massive response to the home defeat. Gets us a little bit further away from the dreaded drop zone now. And with a massive month coming up in the run up to Christmas and over the festive period, it was great to try and gain some confidence and gain some momentum. Seems we got the ball down and played some really good stuff first half. Were solid defensively. Callum Riley then scored a really good second goal. Then he quickly went from hero to zero and got him sent off. I've seen the highlights. For me, it's a stonewall red card. It's not the best challenge. He looks out of control. And he's over the top of the ball and endangering an opponent. And as soon as you do that, you're running the risk. But credit to the boys. Last 20 minutes, they had to dig in. 8 minutes of injury time was fun to watch on Twitter as well. So that was the second midweek game in a row that I've watched on Twitter and bitten my fingernails down to the quick. But we saw it out again, like we did at Hartlepool last week. And there was plenty, according to all the reports, of those that are maybe had to step up and improve their form. Likes of Thomas Holy, Connor Ogilvie, Mark Byrne, Josh Parker, Elliot List, as I've already said, first league goal starting. And also Bradley Garmston come on and was decent enough, aside from nearly scoring a howitzer of an own goal that Thomas Holy managed to make a really good save from. And yeah, like we've said plenty of times, we're generally better under Steve Lovell when we score the first goal and take the lead, and we can manage games and see things out. And we've done it again. Scored 2 really decent goals of our own, and then it took a really good set piece for us to concede, and that was probably the only disappointment. That and Gabriel Zakuani's injury, and the red card obviously, was that we didn't keep a clean sheet, because by all accounts we did deserve it. It seems that in open play we were very good and very resolute again, and we earned our luck when they hit the post in the last few moments of the game, and yeah, a deserving 3 points by all accounts. There's 2 youngsters that Steve Lovell talks about and they are coming up on your screen right now. That is, of course, Elliot List and Darren Oldacre, both back in the starting 11. They are two young lads who have a bright future in the game, said Lovell. We played Elliot in that little role behind the front two strikers, which I think suits him, and he did a magnificent job. He scored a good goal. He is a goal scorer and he is a talent, as is DJ, and they showed it. Excuse me. It was great for Elliot to get a goal. He has deserved it for the effort and work rate he has put in. Oldacre started his 4th league game of the season, playing just in front of the back four. I thought he was outstanding, said Lovell. He's a young boy and some of his passes he knocks around. It's just like a stroll in the park for him. He was excellent, knackered at the end. We've talked about his work rate and what he needs to do off the ball, and he has got that down to a T now. He is a very good prospect. Repeating myself again, but we've said it about both of them, that they have the tools to succeed definitely at this level. Darren Oldacre technically is probably one of the best prospects we've had in a while, aside from Bradley Dack, who's gone on to great things. But it's always one thing doing it in training and doing it in regional cup games or whatever, than it is to doing it in league games. And they're both starting to show some consistency at this level now, which is great to see. Their attitude seems to be spot on. Elliot responding to what Steve Lovell clearly said to him a few weeks ago. We don't know what it was. It wasn't divulged, but whatever it was, it's worked. And DJ has clearly sorted his attitude out, because that always seemed to be the issue according to reports from within the club and around the club. And they're both starting to reap the rewards and bear fruit of their hard work, which is great to see. As for the match report inside, Luke Cordell's final paragraph summed it up well. It was a nervy finish for the Gills, and Circum came close to an equaliser, striking the base of Holy's upright. Amar's lunging block in the dying seconds summed up the commitment to the cause. So I think for any of us, or anyone who seems to think that maybe the players aren't playing for Steve Lovell, I don't think that's the case. I think it's clear that they've got a lot of time for him. And as we've always said, of course we want him to turn it round. If he's winning football matches for Gillingham Football Club, then we're going to rise the table, and that's all we can ask for. And it's been tough for quite a while now, but they've dug in at the Tuesday night after probably a poor performance at the weekend, and the response was spot on, so you can't ask for any more. And yeah, it was just, I think we did both sides of the game really well, didn't we? First sort of hour, we played some really good stuff, got it down on the deck, which is great to see. And Max Amar, our centre-half, talks about that. Amar has a field day is one of the headlines inside today's edition of the Medway Messenger. The first half was one of the most enjoyable first halves I've had this season, certainly. Giving it to DJ, him getting on the ball and spraying it about. It was good to watch, being involved in and watching the build-up. We want to play, and we showed that, especially first half. The day before, the manager said to us, just play. What's the worst thing that can happen? You could lose, but nothing really bad is going to happen. Just play your football. That is what everyone wants to do. We are good enough to do it. And then on the flip side, after Callum Riley's red card, we all had to dig in, we all had to put bodies on the line, heads on the line, jump in the tackles. Not like Callum. But yeah, and Max Amar's stop at the end summed everything up perfectly. And like I say, we probably earned a bit of luck when Circum's shot come back off the post late on. And a massive 3 points, because we've got some big games coming up, not just this Sunday, but after that in League One. But yeah, that's enough about the rest of the two games, which I think have been summed up properly now. Little bit of news in brief this week, which we haven't done for a while, but there's quite a bit to get through. Young Ben Chapman has gone out on loan to Faversham, and he done really well on debut. I think he picked up man of the match and scored in a 2-2 draw. So that's an excellent start for Ben. Who was they playing? Hastings United, yeah, 2-2 draw. And another former Gills player, Ashley Miller, got on the score sheet in that game as well. So good luck to Ben down there. Get some minutes under his belt, come back, and then try and get himself involved in the first team again. He's another one who's a decent enough prospect for us. And this man, no longer at the club, made his international debut. Paulo Gazzaniga made his Argentina bow in the past week, coming on after 59 minutes for Argentina against Mexico, and helped his team see out a victory. They won 2-0, so congratulations to Paulo, reward for all that hard work. I know there was a lot of people when he went to Tottenham who sort of raised their eyebrows and wondered whether he was good enough, but he's clearly the number 2 there now. He's in front of Michel Vorm. I know Bosno's a very big Spurs fan where he works, who says that he thinks he's going to start pushing Hugo Lloris now for the number 1 spot. So that's great to see. It'd be good if he can get more regular games for Tottenham, but I don't think he's done a lot wrong whenever he's been called upon for them. And hopefully he can go on and win a few more caps, get more game time for Tottenham and push himself into real contention, because I don't think Argentina are blessed with hundreds and hundreds of top-class goalkeepers. But from one end of the pitch to the other, Cody McDonald this week joined National League outfit Ebbsfleet, where he's reunited with his old buddy Danny Kedwell. So it'll be interesting to see if they can strike up that partnership again. And I think he made his debut Tuesday evening. He came on for the last 10 minutes against Maidenhead. And one other striker, Connor Wilkinson, currently on loan at Dagenham and Redbridge, has been making some headlines on social media again. He's got 4 in 3 for Dagenham since he's arrived, and they've started flying up the table. So he's obviously playing a big part down there and enjoying his football. I'm not sure whether he had a little dig at us in an interview after their game in the week, saying it was nice to have a manager that believed in him and wouldn't give him a dressing down every time he lost the ball. Took a bit of hate from some of our fans, which I'm not sure I understand, because we might need him in January, because if Tom Eaves leaves in the transfer window, we might have to call Connor back and rely on him to play more. Said hundreds of times, he's clearly got ability, but like DJ Oldacre, I think before the problem was mentally, and he was perhaps thinking the game come too easily and he was better than he was. As I've said 1,000 times, you don't score the goal that you did against Portsmouth without having ability at this level. So good luck to him down there. I hope he continues to get games, continues to score goals, and if he comes back to us a better player, happy days. But yeah, that's everything rounded up this week. We now look forward to Sunday, where we travel to this place. Slough Town, National League South, currently sit 13th in that division with a record of played 16, won 7, drawn 3 and lost 6. 3G pitch, I believe, artificial service, so we can't moan and say that it's not flat and we can't get it down. Obviously it'll take a bit of getting used to because it is artificial, but I can only see it helping us. Slough, don't know a lot about, I'm not going to pretend I do. Only 1 win in 8, aside from their shootout victory over Sutton in the previous round to get through to the game against us, and they've lost 4 in that time, so they've lost 50% of their last 8 games. So, as I've said before, and I'll say it again, if we go there with the right attitude and we play the right players in the right system, I'm confident we'll get a result. And we do have plenty of options to choose from. I think it's only going to be Callum Riley suspended and Gabriel Zakwani injured, who are the ones that are unavailable. And again, do we make changes? Because we have a massive month coming up in the league after this. I think we play Scunthorpe and Wickham after this game. And then we've got Charlton away immediately before Christmas, Portsmouth at home Boxing Day, and Doncaster, I think, at home New Year. And then Southend as well, I think, just as December ticks into January. So there's some really big games in there, a couple that people might class as derbies. But obviously Scunthorpe and Wickham are 2 teams that are in and around us to a degree, so it'd be good if we can pick up points against both of them. But back to Sunday, I would make changes on account of the fact that we do have a big month coming up after that. My team would be Thomas Holy in goal. I would then persist with the 4-4-2 diamond. I would play Luke O'Neill at right back and Bradley Garmston at left back. I would play Connor Ogilvie and Alex Lacey centre halves. Excuse me. I would keep Darren Oldacre in the side at the base of the diamond, and I would have Dean Parrott and Billy Bingham from the sides. And then I would leave Elliot List in the number 10 role. I would leave Josh Parker up front, and I'll bring in Brandon Hanlon for Tom Eaves and just give him a rest. And my bench would be Tom Hadler, Barry Fuller, Max Amar, Josh Rees, Regan Charles Cook, Tom Eaves and Nolan Bow. I think that's a side that can go out there. Still got plenty that you'd call first teamers in it, the likes of Holy, O'Neill, Ogilvie, Garmston. Oldacre now is getting there. Parrott's got loads of experience. Josh Parker's got loads of experience. So I think it's a team that can go to Slough and win. But we just need to give a few a rest. I don't want Tom Eaves getting burnt out or injured when we're going to need him for a busy month in the league. So I'd leave him on the bench. I'd give Mark Byrne the day off. By all accounts, he was superb on Tuesday night, so he can probably have a rest. I would have probably started Callum Riley again instead of Billy Bingham, but obviously that's now been taken out of our hands because of the suspension. But yeah, it's a chance to get Brandon Hanlon back into the team. It's a chance to get maybe Regan Charles-Cook some minutes from the bench. The other big one obviously is Max Amer. I'd give a rest as well. If Gabriel Zaquani's injured and then Max Amer picked up an injury, we'd suddenly look very light. So I'd go with Lacey and Ogilvie for that reason in the middle. And in terms of a prediction, I am going to say Slough Town 1, Gillingham 3. Goal scorers Brandon Hanlon, Josh Parker and Darren Oldacre first for the club. That's what I'm going for. Anyway, that's enough from me rabbiting on today. You will get a match day live without my mugshot all over it on Sunday, courtesy of Stocky and Boz. So please be sure to look out for that next week at some point. Hopefully Sunday evening we can get it out actually. We will be back hopefully next Monday for a Monday review as we start gearing up towards a busy Christmas period. As always, please keep doing the usual, liking, subscribing, telling others about us. If we can push on towards 950 by the end of the year, that'd be excellent. That's 26 in a month. If you can help us do that, that'd be great. And then the big target is obviously 1,000. As always, thanks for watching. And until next time, up the Gills.